There are two villages on opposite sides of the same forest. They both graze sheep and they both have the same problem. If you just let all the sheep graze as much as you want, then the land is grazed out and you can no longer graze sheep. There's population collapse and famine. And they both have to solve this tragedy of the commons in some way, and they opt for different solutions. One of them goes for full common land. The land is owned by everyone knows each other, and they regulate to some extent socially, either explicitly or implicitly, how much each person's flock eats from the common land. As times they move from place to place, it's all a complex system bound by social convention. The other tribe goes for the opposite approach. Full privacy, the land is cut up, different people get it, it's their own, privacy rights are respected and are strong, and they're in charge of maintaining the land for their own and their own family's future use. And both of these are valid solutions to this problem in a tribal society. And now imagine that you take the forest away, or that it gets cut down, and suddenly the two tribes encounter each other. Even though they both solved the same problem, they'll probably both conclude that the other tribe is evil. From the common ground's point of view, anyone who wants privacy or their own land is a greedy pig who wants to take the best area for themselves that they have no right to. From the private property's perspective, anyone who goes on about common land is lazy or poor or socially unimportant, who wants other people to give them the result of their hard work. So they both have strong reasons to distrust each other. But it's more complicated than that. They will have religious beliefs, moral beliefs, stories, cultural things tied in with their values of common land or private property. And they'll have a lot of, say, hygiene, traditions, rules of cleanliness, and all that, also tied in with their identity. So the other people will not just be people who found a different solution to a common type of problem, but they will be evil, unclean, heretics, and there's also an issue of a language barrier. They probably won't be able to communicate. So these evil, unclean people babble nonsense all the time, or if they can master a bit of your language, they stay with the most simplistic and childish of expressions. This is a world a lot more like the old-fashioned or the fantasy settings are. It's not at all like our current world, despite the variety that still remains. We have instant communication, we have so much knowledge about the world, and more importantly than this, we have strong centralized civilizations enforcing their rule in various ways. We are all a product, almost all humans are a product of these centralized civilizations and these mass communication. And so it's difficult for us to project ourselves back into a world as it used to be, but it's very, I think, rewarding for a role player to attempt it. And therefore I'm going to be looking at different aspects of the difference between traditional fantasy worlds and our modern civilization, looking at least the issue of hospitality, the issue of honor, and the issue of local politics. And then hopefully we won't get ridiculous situations like parties of adventurers swanning into a city or town and insulting the local priest or the local mayor, possibly to applause from the population. This just does not happen. It's either, the most likely thing is that the very next second is everybody gets slaughtered. The other possibility is that they slaughter the mayor and all his or her supporters, but in no way would go in, insult, and leave be a viable thing, no matter how some players seem to think it is. Anyway, as I say, we're going to be looking at that in this series. I hope you'll enjoy it. Thanks.